So frequently we want to make copies of a file. Sometimes you're working on a piece of code and you want to make a backup copy before you modify it further. Sometimes you want to create an archive of the files you're working on. And the command we're going to learn today is going to let us do that. So the command for today is for copying files, not directories. Making a copy of a directory or a copy of a folder is something different. The command today is copy, CP, obviously short for copy. So again, it's a shortened, abbreviated form of the word. And this particular command takes two arguments. So the format of this command is CP, the command, and then the first argument is a path to the source file. The source file is the one that we want to make a copy of. So this is the file that already exists. The second argument is a path to the destination. So the destination is where we want to create this new file. And again, that can be in the same directory or it can be in a different directory based on how we form our path, either relative or absolute path. So we're going to look at a couple different variations of this command, and based on how we form our paths, we can do a number of different things. So we can make a copy of the file in the same directory. We can make a copy of the file in a different directory with the same name, or we can make a copy of the file in a different directory with a different name. All of these can be done with the same command. It's just how we form the paths to our source and our destination that make the difference. So let's take a look at how this actually works in a Linux command environment. So here I have my terminal and I'm working with my standard file hierarchy, my fall course directory, and I'm in my CS170 directory already, as we can see. And here I have my homework 1, my homework 2, and I've created a new directory called backups. And this is a directory that I'm going to be used for showing some of these commands to you. So I'm going to move into my homework 2 directory, and as you can see, I have a single file in this directory called hello.java. So this is a small Java program I've created, and I want to make some copies of this file. And so we're going to demonstrate this command using relative paths, but realize that I could use absolute if I wanted to. And we're going to see how we can do these different things. So if I want to make a copy of hello.java in the same directory, I issue my command, CP, and I say, okay, what file do I want to copy? What's my source file? So this is hello.java in this current directory. So I say, take this file and I want to make a copy of it. Now obviously my copy has to have a different name. So in this case, I'm going to name this hello.java.old. Okay, I'm putting a .old extension on it because this is going to be a backup. I hit enter. You can see I don't get any feedback from this. There's no output. But when I look at the files in my directory again, I now have two files. And if we look at the times that they were created using ls-lt, you can see in fact that I have made hello.java.old is newer, and I made a copy of that from hello.java. Okay, so that's how we can make copies of files in the same directory. Now remember that in my parent directory I also had this folder named backups. So what if I want to make a copy from homework 2 hello.java and put that in backups? Let's see how to do that. So I'm now in my homework 2 directory and I want to make a copy of this hello.java file and I want to put it up in that backups folder. So again, I'm going to issue my command. I start out with my source file. What file do I want to make a copy of? I want to make a copy of hello.java. Now I want to move that, or I want to copy this file to my backups folder, so I need to issue a relative path. So I'm going to use ... to reference the parent directory, and then once in my parent directory I'm going to put the copy in the backups folder. So I issue this command. Notice that I didn't specify a file name in the backups folder. What this is going to do is it's going to create a copy of my hello.java file in the backups directory with that same original hello.java name. So let's go up to the parent directory. Let's go into my backups directory. And let's take a look around. And as you can see, I have this hello.java file, which I've just created through copying it from the Homework 2 directory to this directory. It still has the same name. Okay, great. Let's go back to my Homework 2 directory. Okay, I still have my hello.java file here. This is not moving or renaming. This is making a copy. So after this command, I should have two files that are identical, except perhaps in the name. All right, so what if I want to make a copy of that hello.java file to my backups directory, but I want to give it a new name? So I can do that with this command as well. CP, my source file, and now I have to specify my path to my destination. So again, I'm going to make this in the backups directory, the parent directory into the backups, and now if I specify a file name here, Linux is going to create a copy of that file in the backups directory with a brand new name. So in this case, I'm going to name it hello.java.backup just to distinguish it. No errors. So let's go up and take a look at my backups directory. And as you can see, I now have this hello.java.backup file that was created in my backups directory. So I know this is kind of confusing, but keep in mind the overall format of this command, which is just we specify what source we want and we specify where we want to create it. So between those two things, it's a very powerful little command in a very, very short syntax. So we saw three examples. We saw how to make a copy of the file in the same directory. We saw how to make a copy of a file in a different directory but keep the original name. And then we saw how to make a copy of a file in a different directory with a different name, all just using the CP or the copy command.